you're watching Left, Right and Centre and I'm Maria Shakil. We are starting with some piece of breaking news that is coming in now. Property worth 90 crore belonging to Young Indian, the company linked to Congress's Rahul Gandhi and former President Sonia Gandhi, has been attacked by the Enforcement Directorate in connection to its investigation into the National Herald case. The attached property includes the National Herald houses in Delhi and Mumbai and Nehru Bhavan in Lucknow. Sources said that the overall value of these properties that have been seized belonging to associated journals is 752 crore. Arvind Gunasekar explains.
The Enforcement Directorate has cracked its whip in the National Herald matter. The Enforcement Directorate, taking cognizance of a private complaint that was filed by then BJP MP Subramanian Swamy in Patiala House Court, initiated a money laundering investigation in this matter. And that's where, after questioning both Sonia Gandhi and also Rahul Gandhi and also conducting searches in this matter, today the Enforcement Directorate has issued a statement stating that they have attached properties worth 752 crore in connection with this National Herald money laundering investigation. And if you could see the breakup of the 752 odd crore properties that have been attached by the Enforcement Directorate, of which 662 crore worth properties belong to Associated Journal Limited. This is the company that was publishing Congress mouthpiece National Herald, and also 90 crore worth assets of Young Indian, another company that was incorporated by Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and others in this particular case. So in total, 752 crore worth properties have been attached by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the National Herald money laundering investigation. Also, very importantly, the Enforcement Directorate sources say that among the list of properties that have been attached, that also include the National Herald House in New Delhi and also the Nehru Bhavan in Lucknow, and National Herald House properties in both Mumbai and Gurugram are among the properties that have been attached by the Enforcement Directorate. So what's next in this particular matter? Now the Enforcement Directorate questioned Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and others. They also conducted searches. Now they have attached the property. So that means next what we can expect from the Enforcement Directorate is to name Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and others as accused in this National Herald matter and then file a charge sheet before the competent court, which is the Delhi Rao Avenue Court in the National Capital. But the Congress party raises a very important pertinent question, that where is the FIR based on which the Enforcement Directorate registered this money laundering investigation? For Enforcement Directorate to initiate a money laundering investigation, there has to be a scheduled offense. In this particular case, there is no FIR by police or CBI, but a mere private complaint that was lodged by Subramanian Swamy before the Patel House Court seems to be the case on which Enforcement Directorate has initiated this investigation.
All right, of course, that story will be playing out in the political domain, but the real politics is happening in the state of Rajasthan, which goes to polls on 25th. It's the slog-overs in this battle for Rajasthan, 48 hours before the loudspeakers go silent. It's battle royale playing out with big guns stepping out on both sides. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP's biggest mascot, on Tuesday held a mega road show in Jaipur. Addressing a rally earlier in the day, the Prime Minister, referring to Ashok Gehlot, said that Congress's Jadugar is in the Chief Minister's chair only for a few days.
इसलिए जनता ने भी ठान लिया है कि अब कांग्रेस को वापस नहीं आने देना है। मेरी बात सही है? मेरी बात सही है? कांग्रेस का जाना तय है, विदाई पक्की। हमारे कांग्रेस के जादूगर साहब अब कुछ ही दिनों के लिए सीएम की कुर्सी पर है।
Home Minister Amit Shah, while campaigning in Neem Ka Thana, launched a scathing attack against the Congress over dynastic politics. Taking a swipe at Rahul Gandhi, he said that while Prime Minister Modi launched Chandrayaan, Sonia Gandhi has been trying to launch Rahul Gandhi since 2015, but she has failed in her effort and he has failed to take off.
इस पार्टी का एक ही मिशन है, परिवारवाद। मोदी जी ने चंद्रयान को लॉन्च किया, सोनिया जी राहुल जी को लॉन्च करना चाहती। मगर मैं तो कांग्रेस वालों को कहता हूं, ये कैसा यान है कि सोनिया जी 2015-14 से 20 बार लॉन्च कर चुकी है, लॉन्च ही नहीं होता है। ये परिवारवादी पार्टी है कांग्रेस, वो राजस्थान का ये परिवारवादी पार्टी है, वो राजस्थान का और देश का भला नहीं कर सकती। ये देश को सुरक्षित नहीं कर सकते, राजस्थान को दंगा मुक्त नहीं कर सकते, राजस्थान को भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त नहीं कर सकते।
Congress today released its manifesto promising a caste survey and a slew of schemes for farmers and youth, including 10 lakh job opportunities and a new scheme for recruitment at panchayat level.
और कानून पास है आजीवन कारावास हिंदुस्तान में कहीं नहीं पास हुआ जो हमने कानून बनाया है, पेपर लीक वाला भी। एडवोकेट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, एडवोकेट्स का राइट थी कि प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट लागू होना चाहिए, वो भी हमने पास कर दिया। अब रुक गया है, राज्यपाल के बाद में केंद्र के बाद में अलग बात है। किसानों की जमीनें कुर्क नहीं हो सके। अब आयोग बनेगा हाईकोर्ट जज की अध्यक्षता के अंदर, सुनवाई होगी, उसके बाद फैसला होगा। इस प्रकार का ये भी क्रांतिकारी कानून बनाएगा।
So the question that we ask on the show tonight, when Rajasthan polls on 25th, will it be Modi magic or Gehlot's jadu that will win Rajasthan? Joining me on the show, Dr. Anshul Avijit is a spokesperson of the Congress. We have Dr. Manoj Rajoria, BJP MP, Avinash Kalla, senior journalist, Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist here in the studio. Shipra Mathur is a senior journalist joining me as well. Anshul Avijit, is the Congress fighting within or with the BJP?
I don't know where that misconception comes from. It's certainly not fighting from within. It's a strong, united front. As for the word jadugar and magician, well, as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, I mean, I can't think of magician as an appropriate word. I would say that there's more deception and subterfuge and fake promises and rhetoric and hollow words. That is what the Prime Minister is known for all these years, because all what he's promised has never been fulfilled. And he has a rather inglorious track record for that. I think that finally people are realized just playing with emotions, bringing up religious card in every single election when they're about to face defeat will certainly not work anymore.
How will
Look,
the
Rajasthan
caste
is a very
card really
particular
help
bold
then?
state.
You're talking about religious card. Here is the caste card, which is evidently being played by the Congress.
We are talking about social justice. Let's not say caste card. That's the idea of social justice and inclusive growth has been at the forefront of Congress policy right from its very inception. This is another another chapter in that idea of social justice. So until we know, until we have an X-ray of the society, we cannot know.
Anshul, there seems to be some problem with your audio. We'll try and fix that. But I tend to disagree with you on the simple point that this is about, that the Congress has always believed in it. If anything, Amitabh, we remember and we have seen the Congress Party's history. It hasn't really been about the OBC as a constituency. They have always been on the margins of this politics, but have largely concentrated on the Garib, as a class, the Dalits and also the Muslims.
Yeah, so the OBC politics is now at the hotbed, and now Congress is trying to focus on the OBC politics because a lot of vote share of the Congress Party has moved away to the regional parties, particularly the Samajwadi parties and the JDS and the RJD. See, it's a battle of delivery versus promise. Conceptually, a ruling party cannot make a lot of promises. People will ask the question, why didn't the party conduct a caste census in the last 5 years? Why it is talking about caste census only in the last minute? That is number one. If you look at the number of candidates, OBC candidates, which the party has put, it is largely in line with the BJP, which is around 37-38%, whereas the population which the party claims is around 50%. So, jitni abadi utna hak shayad nahi mila hai. So, when we talk about delivery, and the manifesto you see is being launched just 2 days before the polling. So, how will the manifesto promises for a party which is structurally weak, organizationally weak in Rajasthan compared to BJP will reach the common
Okay.
man
Anshul?
or at the booth level?
Anshul, the question is about promise, and the government which is in power has to look at its own report card of delivery rather than look at promises. It's the job of the opposition to make a counter narrative of promises.
Yeah, sure. So what did you do in Chhattisgarh? What about all the promises that we have kept in Chhattisgarh, that we have kept in Rajasthan? We had such a bold scheme of ensuring a health act which is completely unprecedented. Where do you get a health insurance of 25 lakh covering 1,500 actually procedures which have benefited, where claims have come from 35 lakh people? Right? 2,000 crore rupees had already been spent. Look at this kind of massive social security that we are giving to people at a time of extreme economic distress, which is caused by the central government. You know, they floundered completely as far as the pandemic
Dr.
was
Rajoria,
concerned. There is
the
berozgari
BJP
and
then
Mahungai.
is the BJP then playing catch up here? Because you have a party in power which over the last few months in the run up to the model code of conduct coming in place has made a series of promises, has come up with series of guarantees, and you are looking at ways to counter it. Manojji, if you can hear me.
Yeah, ma'am. Please now please repeat it.
Yes,
Am
Manojji,
I audible?
Yes, yes, you can. I can hear you, and so can the viewers. My question is that is the BJP, your party, playing catch up here? Because you have to counter all those guarantees which have come in from Ashok Gehlot in the last few months, and of course, which has tilted this election in many ways and making it into a close contest. That's what analysts say. No. I've not been on ground, so I'm not in complete agreement with that assessment.
No, ma'am. First of all, I want to explain you there is no close contest is there between Congress and BJP. BJP is getting majority in absolute, a big majority we are getting in Rajasthan. More than 150 seats we are getting in leadership of Honorable Prime Minister. And whatever you are saying about the guarantee, so there is a big difference in guarantees of the Congress and Prime Minister Modi ji. So we can say the guarantee of the Rahul Gandhi given to Rajasthan people in last assembly election, it is absolutely failed. He gave guarantee of the in the relaxation and the way of the debt of the farmers, but it was absolutely false guarantee. And what is the guarantees Ashok Gehlot ji is giving in Rajasthan? It is absolutely a pseudo guarantee, fraud guarantee, because people are not relying on Ashok Gehlot now. Because the intention of the Ashok Gehlot guarantee is just harming the self-respect and
no, but you have also come up with your series of promises.
Because they are just giving in the last month and trying to giving, but not giving.
Okay.
I can give the example of so many guarantees. They are just calling and compelling, not calling. They are compelling to people to come in their Rahat Shivir, and they are just insulting them. Or instead of having all the data, if they have data of everything, but they compel the poor people to come in their camps and to launch their MLAs.
Okay, so let's try and understand.
Leaders.
And from the analysts also, Shipra and Avinash Kalla, what is the trump card that these parties have? Shipra, beginning with you.
So the trump card, Maria, apparently is the status of Prime Minister Modi, because he's a popular Prime Minister and he is driving the whole election campaigning in Rajasthan. So that is going to have an impact, though apparently from the Congress side, Gehlot is leading the campaign. So I think this is, if not close or if not far, you know, in terms of how the fight goes on. But I suppose the voters are very calculative this time, and they are going to play a very decisive role. But they are not opening up. They are not opening their cards as of now.
So,
if
is
I
this
give you
unlike other elections? You know, we often talk about undecided voters or silent voters, whatever you may call them, or those who are on the margins. But in a state like Rajasthan, which votes out the incumbent, are the voters really silent, or are they very, very clear about their choices?
No. They are very silent, but they are very decisive at the same time. You know, once you throw a question onto them that what is their decision and how are they going to vote, they give you a smile and they clearly show it up that we are very clear who we are going to vote. But they will not open it up. They'll not open up.
Okay.
But also, Maria, it is important that manifesto, because I'm coming back to manifesto because it has been released today. Manifesto is something which people are not really taking very seriously now, because it is not on a stamp paper. You can do announcements and you can always brush aside. Because why I'm saying this, because in Congress manifesto today, I see a lot of things which are the which appear to be the dictates of NGO sector. For example, I'm giving you the one point that has been inserted in this the 7 guarantees that have been pointed out today. Accountability. So government had 4 or 5 years to implement this as an act. This was a demand by civil society that accountability as an act should be implemented in Rajasthan. So they have taken whole 3 years to decide and to incorporate into their manifesto, and that too just before 5 days to go for the voting. So whether it's an announcement of the welfare schemes or freebies, because it is very, very difficult to differentiate between the two, but the voter is taking decision, because in assembly, how do they vote? And in Lok Sabha election, how do they vote? In past elections also, we have seen that Rajasthan voters are very categorical, very candid. And this time also, I suppose that there's not going to be any confusion. I'm not giving my decision.
Yes, no. I know analysts like you all and political journalists like me, we always give our view and always say that we have not given much. So, Avinash, the state of Rajasthan follows a revolving door process, and the Prime Minister's push that is visible here is also an indication that how crucial is the state to ensure that this is not just about any victory that the BJP would want, I should say, but it should be about setting the tone going forward to 2024.
Maria, let me tell you, you asked what's the trump card of the whole equation. The simple thing is that will Gehlot make sure that the Congress cadre or people vote on his face? Because he has accepted it that the MLAs are not too popular. There is an anti-incumbency against the Congress MLAs that he has accepted. But he has run a fabulous campaign that he's commanding the position right now. He sets the agenda and BJP responds. I saw the BJP MP saying we haven't made those promises. But if he looks at his manifesto, it's just an exact copy-paste of what the Congress has given. So it's a freebie versus freebie. And both the parties are trying to keep their core voter intact. So for the Congress, it is the Dalits, the Adivasis, the SCs and the STs. Whereas for the BJP, they want to keep their vote intact.
Avinash,
and Prime
my
Minister,
question is there really something called captive voter for any of these parties? Because it's a bipolar contest, evidently, and it has always been in the state of Rajasthan, when it votes out the incumbent every 5 years.
See, Maria, I'll tell you, in the last election also, if you look at it, the difference between the two parties was just 0.5% vote. So both of them would try to stick onto the vote share that they got last time. And that's why I'm saying. And now in the vote share, what you're saying is in different regions, there are people with different issues to vote in. Eastern Rajasthan is going to be a big, big faction where would the Congress keep the intact vote that they got almost 100% vote victory? Will it be able to retain that? Looks like a difficult target. But will the BJP be able to hold on to the other forts? This time there have been 22 rebels from the BJP, the largest number so far. They've not been able to contain them. That is a big headache for the BJP. While the PM is doing road shows, yes, the rebels. While the PM is doing road shows, the backroom channels
on the Congress side.
Not that many. The size in the BJP outnumbers everyone. There are 22 in fray. 22 is a huge number when you're going in for turning the tides. So that is going to be very crucial. And see, the BJP backroom is still working very hard to make sure that it gets those rebels to support their candidates. Today, one more such former MLA
Yes, so let's talk about the
has
rebel
given its
factor,
support.
because I think that becomes important here, because what is visible here, Dr. Rajoria, that the BJP is too dependent on Prime Minister Modi to do heavy lifting in the last leg. If we look at the visuals that are coming in from Jaipur or the roadshows that he did yesterday, there is that dependence that the party has, and the Prime Minister realizes it, that the vote is coming in his name. So it is about the Modi voter ensuring that, you know, the BJP ensuring that the Modi voter steps out. The party has also not announced who their chief ministerial candidate would be.
Ma'am, of course, we can say confidently that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is a star face of not only BJP, but he is face of the India also. He is the most popular leader, not in India only, amongst the world. He is the most popular leader of the world. So all the international rating agencies have accepted the PM Modi is the only leader, the most popular leader in the world. So that's why, we can open-heartedly accept the popularity of the Honorable Prime Minister. And simultaneously, our organization is doing very well. Our organization is a cadre-based party, and we have very strong structure in all the districts up to booth level as well. So it is a communication between the popularity
but what
of the
about the
Honorable
rebels?
Prime.
How much of a headache are they?
Ma'am, just try to listen me. There is nothing in rebels or whatever the rebels are there against our party. So our organization and popularity of the Honorable Prime Minister, all these things will meet out our targets. The rebels will be vanished off, and they are neutral effective people now, because they have expelled from party now, and so there will be no effect of the rebels in the winning capacity of the BJP seats.
Amitabh, you know, the question here is that I've been looking at those seats. Almost 59 seats in Rajasthan in 2018 were won or lost with just 5% vote, and around 28 to 29 with just 2.5%. So it's a very close contest in roughly around 60 seats. So if that is the case, then the rebels can be the spoiler.
Of course, I mean, the rebels can be the spoiler, but what also happens is that if you see this 50-60 seats, it's not that one party significantly wins the seats. The distribution of these seats is in the same proportion of the seats which they get in the overall assembly. That is number one. Number two, what we tend to do mistake is that if there is a BJP rebel, it will harm the BJP. That's not the case.
Yes.
If the candidate is of the caste of the Congress candidate, then it is also likely to damage the Congress candidate and not only the BJP candidate. There is a huge amount of anti-incumbency in the state. In the last 4 elections since 2003, only 25% of sitting MLAs of Congress have won, and that number is 50% for the BJP. Given that context, the Congress has not denied tickets to a lot of MLAs. It's only 10%, whereas it's only 20% odd. Whereas in Chhattisgarh, the number is 30%. So Gehlot accepts this and is trying to make it a presidential style of a contest. But in a Vidhan Sabha election, the local face is the most important, then the party, then comes the CM face or this. And in terms of schemes.
But then in that case, if you look at the local face, here the BJP also doesn't have a local face here.
No, see, the BJP doesn't have a local face. I may not agree entirely with this. That's number one. BJP has declared candidates much ahead of Congress. So it has accepted that the face, which is the Prime Minister Modi's face, may not work as in Himachal and in Karnataka. So it has taken some steps to make this contest a local face, a combined leadership by not announcing Vasundhara ji as CM, and also the Modi factor because he is definitely more popular there. In terms of schemes, I think there is one big difference is that there is no cash transfer scheme significant of Ashok Gehlot. There is a difference between enrollment and beneficiary. If I am an enrollment of a Chiranjeevi scheme, I get the benefit only when I fall sick. So he is a potential beneficiary and not an actual beneficiary. That's a big difference.
Dr. Anshul Avijit, here is Amitabh Tiwari saying that there is massive anti-incumbency.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, you know, the metaphor that is often used, the revolving door metaphor, I think it's yesterday's news. And the reason for that is the kind of policies that have come up with the Ashok Gehlot government. There haven't been policies that have been for the elections itself. Of course, in every election, people have their parties have their promises. They say they're going to fulfill them. We have what we call our guarantees. That means we are absolutely going to fulfill them, as in the case in Karnataka and other places. So there is that qualitative difference between a promise and a guarantee. But here, we started our policies and our yojanas a year back. The Health Yojana, Urban and Manrega beneficiaries, we try to protect the people of the state from what is widespread poverty, unemployment caused by the incompetence of the central government. Price rises, I completely agree that their manifesto is a cut and paste job. From KG to PG is something that we said in Chhattisgarh, cylinders coming down the prices. I mean, why haven't you done it in other states? You're in power in 10 states. Why haven't you done it up till now? The problem is that the BJP has no interest in bringing down the prices. And what we have done in Rajasthan is provide a social security net in order to help the people at a time of grave crisis. Don't go by what they keep saying, the most popular leader in the world. And I heard my friend from the BJP say that, and we're bringing G20 and we're becoming the biggest economy in the world and all that. The person who is unemployed, who is poor and who's gone to buy vegetables, you can't give him this explanation. So in Rajasthan, we've done exactly that. We've reached out to them. We hope it will pay dividends. I mean, I'm never the one to second guess a voter, but we have tried to earn their trust. And I believe that this revolving door politics will end. Continuity will be the new name.
Okay. Dr. Rajoria, will you respond to that? And then I'll give the final words to Shipra.
Yeah, ma'am, I want to respond to you one thing that today Honorable Prime Minister was in my Karoli, in my constituency, just today only.
Okay.
And there was a huge crowd of more than 1 lakh to hear Honorable Prime Minister, more than expectations. So there was a great craziness towards the Honorable Prime Minister. And I can say one thing only, the pulse of the Rajasthan is against the corruption. Ma'am, corruption, the people of the Rajasthan were absolutely arrested by the corruption made by their MLAs of the Congress and ministers and as well as the CM. And the destruction and destroy of the by the paper leak matter of the youth, absolutely there is a revengeful character and the feeling of amongst the youth that they have to change this corrupt government. Two things. And third thing, ma'am, is the crime against the women. This is the best one and top one thing. Even we can say you can ask the 1,000 females and women, they will say that we have to change this Congress government. They cannot protect the female respect. They cannot protect them. You can know in average Rajasthan, 28 females was discriminated by the people, and the 17 females were raped. And in my constituency, in last few days, 3 women were raped and killed by them, their criminals.
So you're talking about the overall law and order situation.
Ma'am, criminals are taking dinner and lunch with the Honorable Prime Minister. The people is watching that. So there is even whatever that you can say, in the now verse we can say the Shobha Yatra was there in Karoli. So there was a strong painting on the Shobha Yatra.
Shipra, 25th,
people are asking.
You are saying that there is a high percentage of silent voters or which we often say undecided voters. My question is that in a state such as Rajasthan, do voters really stay as silent as we think they do?
Ma'am, you just asked the feedback
Shipra,
of my rally
Let's
today.
have Shipra on the
there
screen.
is no silence.
Your
Now
question
they are
because
becoming
of
vocal. Now they are ready to
So
take
what was the
action against this
last
corrupt
sentence?
government.
Yeah.
Yes, Shipra, your assessment of December 3rd.
Yeah. So I think the tone is already set. And local issues. One thing is very clear, Maria, that Modi is a clear leader, and Gehlot, there is no ill feeling against Gehlot also. It is the local factor which is going to rule, and the voters, because 33 lakh young voters, unemployed voters, who were directly or indirectly affected by the paper leaks, are going to decide also. 48% of women voters, because 17 rapes per day in Rajasthan is a horrific figure. It is also going to be a big issue and in the back of the mind of voters. So this is also going to be very decisive. But at the same time, I would also like to close my argument on this, that every constituency is tricky for sure. It's not going to be very easy or
yes, so
big
in a very, very localized election,
yes.
if Amitabh Tiwari feels that there is massive anti-incumbency, there is a high percentage of seats in which the margin of victory is less than 5%, then certainly we'll have to wait and see as to how results pan out on 3rd. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Anshul Avijit, Amitabh Tiwari here in the studio, Shipra, Avinash Kalla and Dr. Rajoria.